The impossible dream. To go for the impossible. I love that. I'm going to put this jacket on so I look thinner. Like, I'm going to see the impossible dream, and then it's like, but we'll go home and think, oh, I can't ever lose this weight. I can't ever do this. I can't ever whatever. And it's like, I can't ever get over this. I can't ever forgive this. And what really is the impossible dream more than forgiveness? To forgive our body. To forgive our thoughts, to forgive our neighbors, to forgive our parents, to forgive Adam and Eve for fouling this all up in the first place. To forgive God for allowing things to happen. To forgive the people in the street who offend our sensibilities. But most of all, it is to forgive ourselves. And that really is the impossible dream. To forgive myself that I didn't know better when I didn't know better. Well, I know better now about some things. I know better now. And so I can begin the forgiveness process. And what is the forgiveness process except giving way for a new thought about this particular situation, about this particular thought that I've been holding that is holding me back. I forgave myself my drinking years, my smoking years. I forgave because I needed them to get to the point of healing. And when I saw the good that came out of the what we call bad, then how could it have been bad? And I've asked many people that. I remember one time there was somebody I was talking to, and their daughter was in their shower that day, and the whole glass shattered in. The glass door shattered in. No one was hurt. And what I asked them, I said, now since in those few hours, are you focusing more on that your daughter is fine, or the anger you have that door broke and that the manufacturer sold you something faulty? Because that's what we will do. And then that's when the impossible dream begins. How am I going to get over this? I have sunk. Now I've got to justify having been angry. Now I've got to justify having been afraid. Now I've got to justify. But in the field of good, orderly direction, I don't have to justify anything. In the field of good, orderly direction, there is no anger to be justified. There is no hurt to be justified. None of it. It's, I felt this way. I may have misacted on it. Fine. I don't have to keep misacting on it to get a payoff. I always like to say, in your resentments, sell short. And the investment in your resentments, sell short. They're never going to pay off the way you're hoping. I've proven it over and over again. I have never gotten the payoff I was hoping in justifying my outrage at someone else's behavior, nor protecting my own. Peace is so much better than being right about being wronged. I'm going to read something to you from a book of the Bible that, quite frankly, I had forgotten existed. Right? I'm not sure I'd ever read it. See, Jude. Who reads Jude? Seriously, whoever's in the book of Jude. Right, and it's one chapter. But in the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the book of Jude, it says, you are not alone. I'll come back here so we can all have a chat. You are not alone. It is time that we talk more about what you are, that you may experience mercy, peace, and love in abundance through your understanding and your choice. How wonderful. That is good orderly direction. You know, I didn't know I had a choice. And that's why we can forgive ourselves. Many of us in our child mind didn't know we had a choice. We thought we had to believe in sickness as a reality. We thought we had to believe in poverty as a reality. We thought we've had to believe in harmony as a reality. Oh, somebody doesn't like me, so I shouldn't like myself. Or there must be something wrong with me that this person that I don't like doesn't like me. Your mind is one mind. Our mind is one mind. There are no minds that are separate and alone from other minds. This is why there is no suffering. Because there are no minds that are alone. There is one mind, and this one mind is fully and completely yours. Oh, I love this. All of the horror that you witness and believe in is in your one mind. This is why it is not truly suffering. It is not one mind doing unto another mind. That would be suffering. But it is one mind choosing unto itself, and so it is only the illusion of suffering, even though it may seem to you to be real. Isn't that fantastic? Yes is the answer.
Can you read that again?
Yes, I can. All of the horror that you witness and believe in is in your one mind. That is why it's not truly suffering. It is not one mind doing unto another mind. That would be suffering, but it is one mind choosing unto itself, and so it is only the illusion of suffering, even though it may seem to you to be real. Now here's what it means. If I come up and kick you in the shins, you don't know why I did that. It is your deciding what it means. Unless you ask me, why did you do that? And let's face it, I could lie to you and give another reason. It is your deciding what it means to you that it brings about your appearance of suffering. You know, if David and I have a conversation and he says this, and I decide what he's saying means this, then I am likely to go into the experience of suffering, even though he never intended it that way. He didn't mean it that way, but it is me deciding, and that's for everything. The sky is what it is today, but I'm deciding what it is for me. We were going to a pool party yesterday. I had a few thoughts. Oh, it's cloudy, it's overcast, it's raining. I decided. There was no inherent meaning in clouds, in rain, in overcast. There is no inherent meaning in any colors. There is no inherent meaning in this floor. But you better believe that this floor starts to crack, I'm going to give it some meaning. Right now, I'm taking it for granted. It starts to shift, I'm not going to take it for granted anymore. I'm going to have thoughts about it, and I'm going to tell myself, oh no, I can't trust the floor. And in my deciding I can't trust the floor, that's how I begin to live. And what if I decided the floor is shifting? Spirit, tell me what to think about the floor shifting. And it's the same with our lives. Oh, my life is shifting. Spirit, tell me what to think about my life shifting. You know, people come and they go, and they come into their bodies and they leave their bodies, and all sorts of stuff happens. And we decide by the circumstances whether it's permissible or not, whether it's acceptable or not. But it's not inherent. The result is the same. If someone leaves their body, are we to decide how it should happen and at what age it should happen? Are we? No, I have experiences based on my thought about it. You know, because quite frankly, you know, when my grandmother went, oh, broke my heart. When my mother went, broke my heart a little bit, and I experienced great sadness. But you know what? There's a lot of grandmothers and mothers gone. I don't read about them, don't know about them, don't care about them. So it has no inherent meaning. It's what I think about it that gives me my experience about it all. It's not bad. But if I sought spirits counsel, the comforter that Jesus said he would send us as he left. There we go. It's only because I couldn't understand what he was saying that it was hard. If I consult Spirit, the Comforter, Spirit is never going to shame me for having thought the thoughts I thought. That's the good part. It's not, how many of your mothers said to you, don't cry. Don't do this. Don't feel this way. Oh, you shouldn't feel this. How many of your friends have ever said, you shouldn't feel this way? How many of your friends have interrupted your tears? Because it's uncomfortable when somebody cries. Well, I don't want to see you suffering. But what if I just let you have your experience and then we went to lunch? Rather than trying to stifle your experience. Rather than trying to, retreats, I always say, someone might cry today. Don't hand them a Kleenex. Don't pat them on the back. We're all big people. We know how to find a Kleenex if we need one. Ask, we can ask, but don't stifle that experience, because they're just going to find another occasion to have it. You and I keep looking for circumstances to feel how we feel. And if they get interrupted, we've got to go make another one. If we tell ourselves we shouldn't have it, then we've got to go find another way to have it. And so, to look at this and say, oh, the horror of it all is in my own mind. So it goes on to say, the one mind is not fully aware of itself, and this is where the illusion of attack and suffering comes in. But the one mind is itself, and this is why suffering and attack are illusion. I have come to help you remove your faith from the illusion, which you have believed in until now, and place it firmly with the one mind, which is not separate. With your faith placed in the one mind, you can look at the one mind, see the beliefs that have been accepted there, and then choose to use the one mind to peacefully see in another way. The mind has no victims and has no evildoers within it. There are no separate parts within the mind that run amok, separate from the mind that is you. The belief in separation is not partially true, so that your power is somewhat or partially limited. The belief in separation is wholly mistaken, so that the power of your mind is all that is wholly true. To look at the world and place blame out there is to make the error of not believing that you are what you are, and yet this error can only be illusion. For you are what you are, and what you are is wholly true. When David and I spoke up about this incident this week, we weren't trying to change people. But what I said to him, I said, David, if you don't speak up, the message you give to the world, to me, and to yourself is it's okay to abuse you. No, we're not here to get the others to stop abusing us. We're here to get ourselves to stop abusing us. It's here for me here, not to come out with my dukes fighting, but to say, I don't care for this. This is what I have seen. And then they can either agree or disagree. But a shift of energy will have taken place. See, I told you many of you years before, when I was home one Christmas and my mother was my mother. Well, at least as my mother behaved. And my brother and I went to dinner, and their relationship was not a pleasant one. And he said, you keep saying she's changed, and I don't see it. And I say, you're right, Mark, she hasn't. But I have, so she reacts differently to me. He said, He heard that. I was going, And, it's energy. I didn't have to fight my mother to stop being that way. I just stopped reacting that way. I stopped defending against it. And when there's no defense, there's no resistance. And I'm still learning it over and over again in my life. If I don't, because what you resist must persist. What you push against is pushing back. And so to keep saying, you're wrong for behaving that way, you're wrong for doing that, and you have to stop doing that or I won't love you. And I heard that growing up. I think some of you have heard that. If you misbehave, I won't love you. If you talk that way, if you act out that way, I won't love you. But when I came into unity, actually when I came into 12 steps and then was led to unity, I heard that God didn't behave that way. I heard that God never said, if you behave a certain way, I won't love you. God had no weapons of mass destruction for my mind. God had no need to suppress my creativity. God had no need for me to live in fear or shame or humiliation. And that's why I got on board with God. And I'm going to guess that within the story of Jesus, that's why he got on board with God. Jesus was from Nazareth. And if you don't know about Nazareth, you read your Bible and you'll read one little passage. There's a man talking about Jesus, and the other man says, he's from Nazareth. Could anything good come from Nazareth? So he came from a place of shame. And he decided, I don't want to do that, and I have to get on board with spirit that has no place of shame for anyone, that has no judgment, that doesn't need to suppress anyone, but is ready and willing for everyone, all beings, to rise up to the highest. And we're here in a body. We've got lots of crayons. We've got lots of glue. We've got lots of scissors. We've got lots of things to create with. We've got all sorts of toys we have created to be even more creative with. And we've got a mind to use them with. And so, self-loathing is not creative. Sometimes it's the best we have to keep us safe until we don't need it anymore. But today, perhaps we don't. We need less self-loathing. Perhaps we need less safety and veneer to protect ourselves because we're not in as much danger as we used to be. Perhaps it's okay if somebody doesn't like us today. That if we perceive someone perceiving us. I had a teacher at Unity Village once say, I'm not who I think I am, and I'm not who you think I am. I'm who I think you think I am. And that's who I'm trying to behave as or defend against. Who I think you think I am. As if there's danger in that. What if we took danger off the table? Well, okay, I'm not in danger today. I'm just in the appearance of danger. Because that would be overcoming the impossible, wouldn't it? Where I can suddenly go out and look in the mirror, and whatever I look like, it's good. Because I'm not worried about what anybody else thinks I look like. I just look in the mirror, and this is a fine way for Shawn to look. And then I'm going to have a thought about God. Because it's fine for Shawn to have a thought about God. And I don't have to be ashamed or protect or defend. And then I'm going to do whatever else is right in the next step of my journey. And then I'll do the next thing, which is usually think the next thing. And then I'll keep moving forward, confident, assured, and I keep moving up in vibration. I keep moving higher in vibration. And I keep demonstrating suddenly. Suddenly it's like, oh, people I didn't used to get along with now want to be around me. And oh, there's more means available to, if I want to buy something, there's a way to do it. Or if I want to move through this area instead of this area, there's a path that has been made clear that I could not see before. Go for the impossible. Eric Butterworth put his quote in the bulletin. And Eric says, why be an average person? All the great achievements of history have been made by strong individuals who refuse to consult statistics or to listen to those who could prove convincingly that what they wanted to do, and in fact ultimately did do, was completely impossible. I am Shawn Moninger, and I stand here on this pulpit today. I'm 54 years old, and that was impossible. When I was 10 years old, that was impossible. When I was 5 years old, that was impossible. When I was 20 years old, that was impossible. Many of you stand or sit where you sit, and that was impossible for you to do this right now. There was nothing in your childhood to tell you this was possible. Many of you know people that it would have been impossible to know. Many of you have had experiences that would have been impossible to have. And there's no good reason that you should get to have them except you said yes. For a brief moment you said yes, and perhaps one of those brief moments turned into 2 and 3 and 4 and millions of brief moments where you started to say, oh, suddenly I believe the impossible is possible. Unity is here today because of the impossible. A woman was diagnosed with tuberculosis and given 3 months to live, and it would have been told it was impossible that you will live another 47 years and start a spiritual movement. You know, the doctor didn't say that was one of the options. He said, you're going to die in 3 months, say goodbye. Clean up your affairs. Instead, she decided not to be convinced. She didn't go out for grandiosity. She went for life, and life more abundantly. Jesus Christ said, you will do all I do, and even greater. And that wasn't for the ego's purposes. That was because you can prove God now. You can prove God now by doing things that are ridiculous that you could ever have done before. You could forgive your past. You could forgive your present. You could forgive your neighbor. You could forgive your mother and your father and that stupid Adam and Eve. We can take those mountains. We can throw them into the ocean. We can climb them. We can walk over them easily. We can walk over them with great effort. We can keep moving up the hill at a higher frequency, at a higher vibration. Who here today, hearing this, thinks that they might be able to think or do something that before they came in here was impossible? I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Mark's going to come up here, and he's going to sing another song. This time, he's going to be Mother Superior instead of Don Quixote. And I invite you to listen to these words and take them very personally. Take them very personally, as very possible. Thank you for spending this July 5th with us all.